Hello, Taurus, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of June 7th through the 13th. And during that time, we have a last quarter moon that comes in on the 8th. And that is a time of the realization of the things that we've been working on that started during the new moon at the beginning of the cycle. We're doing a little inward reflection as we attain our full potential, get rid of negative emotions, and just continue to wrap things up. We then have the waning crescent for the rest of the week. That's a really good time of stability and calm as we do wrap those things up, but also to become thoughtful and growth oriented and start to think, start to kind of reflect on what we've just been through in the last cycle and think about how we want to learn and grow and what we might want to start for the new moon that's coming up for the next week. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Taurus. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't here on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is that nothing will come of this situation. All right, let's see what the Taurus Collective is dealing with this week. As I'm shuffling the tarot, my fun weekly reminder for you this week, Taurus, is that you pay attention to synchronicities. So this could be just synchronistic things that are happening. I want you to think about maybe there's an issue that you have in your life right now, and it's something that it's on your mind and you're thinking about it. And all of a sudden on the radio, a song comes on and basically there's an answer that just comes out of a song, or, maybe you're changing the dial. It might just be a little blurb that you hear. So if you're paying attention to those things, there are so many ways in which the universe is guiding all of us every day. It is really uncanny. And if you start to pay attention to those synchronistic things, you can let the universe guide you a little bit. So it's just a matter of your heightened awareness of them. They're there if you can pay attention to them. So or find them, right, like little Easter eggs. So that is my fun weekly reminder for you, is that you pay attention to the synchronicities in the universe this week. All right, let's get into this reading. We've got Taurus, June 7th through 13. Nothing will come of this situation. Your present energy right now is the Five of Pentacles. So feeling a little bit like an outsider somewhere. This could be anywhere. Of course, we have no indicators yet. It is Pentacles. Could be work related. It could be financial related, that you're feeling like an outsider when it comes to financial things, or even job things or material things. Oh, my friend is buying a house and I can't do that yet. That kind of thing. Don't compare yourself. Just prepare yourself for what it is. You're setting your own dreams and aspirations. And so you need to set those things and then just take the steps to work towards them. But usually that is a comparison card, but it could be. We'll see what's going on here. In your current situation right now is the Ten of Pentacles. So maybe the Pentacles are on your mind and you're thinking about long-term wealth and security, and maybe that is kind of making you feel like an outsider in the way of like, am I doing the right things? Am I making enough money? Am I doing, the right investments to get me to a place where, I can create something that's generational and long-term for your family, for those after you as well. So it appears to be on your mind, and that's good. That's not a bad thing to be thinking about. At the root of your situation is the Devil card. So I just had this card at the root of the Aries reading also. So there might be something that is coming up for you. This could be, the Devil card is many times about insecurities and false truths. So, you could be comparing yourself to others and maybe feeling just a little bit, envious, or again, just it's making you feel a little bit insecure. And so don't do that, right? You can do, if you use that energy up to do that, it means it's misplaced energy, because instead of working on your goals and aspirations, you're worrying about what other people think, or you're focusing on those things that you don't have, and so that's just wasted energy, honestly. So but this can be, the Devil can be about procrastination. It can be about just getting distracted. It can be about having just self-defeating thoughts like they're just time wasters. They really are. It doesn't move you forward to be negative or to get stuck in those negative loops like that. So pay attention to that. Let's see what's in your recent past here. is the Page of Cups. So you're definitely coming at all of this with kind of a sense of humor and a lightheartedness, and that's okay. Maybe this is just kind of a wake up call for you to be a little bit more serious about this. To make the right kind, like again, the right kind of investments. To where do you want to be in 5 or 10 years? And so you need to think about those things, and the steps that you take now are the steps that get you where you want to be in the future. If you're just having a good time and not doing those things, it's going to be harder to get there. You're going to turn around in 10 years and say, well, why am I not there? Well, you had to do that years ago, right? What's on your mind this week is a little bit of debate here with the Five of Wands. So, fives are our card of conflict. Let me move this back here. Five are cards of conflict and debate. It doesn't have to be fighting. It can just be that you're maybe having a debate with, with friends, with family about what are the best ways to go about this. And this is how we learn, is through, passionate back and forth. It doesn't have to be, again, it doesn't have to be fighting, but, just you might have a debate going about, is Bitcoin better than this other investment, right? And so you're debating those things back and forth and pulling up proof, and doing the kind of research that you need to do when it comes to long-term decisions with money. So pay attention to that this week. What is just ahead of you is the Death card. So some sort of ending comes in here to, and maybe it comes out of this debate. And the Death card can be just the end of a way of thinking. Maybe someone shows you that, oh well, your money will grow quicker if you do this thing with it, and you're like, oh, or something. It's just something that you learn. I'm almost getting like a little aha moment. I wouldn't be surprised to see like an Ace of Swords pop out here, um t- because it's almost like the end of a way of thinking. So anytime you have an ending like that, it's opening up space for new ways of thinking. So what is in your advice position here? Well, there's the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is about logical knowledge, intellectual knowledge. So if this means that you need to seek out some sort of information, and again, this card is that nothing will come of this situation. And it could be that you learn some things, but you don't put them into action, or maybe the information you got just doesn't resonate with you. But what you will do is take, you'll do the research. You're going to do the research and find out this information for yourself and figure out how you want to proceed. The King of Swords is very, very knowledgeable on the topic that he takes on. So if it happens to be some financial topic like this, then I think you'll just, you'll pick up a book and read it, and or a few, just to get to a place where you feel like you understand what is going on there. What is beyond your control this week is also the King of Wands. So, if the King of Swords is reading books about a topic to become ultra knowledgeable, the King of Wands is doing the thing that they're most passionate about, and learning about that thing too. And how do those go together? Do your passions, coincide with your financial life? I hope so. I mean, I hope that you're doing things in your day-to-day life that is something that you love to get up in the morning. It's something you're very passionate about and you're excited to do. That's what do they say? When you love your job, you never work a day in your life. So, I hope you are trying to combine your passions with your living. It's really the best way to do it. See, it's not everybody can do that, but hopefully if you can't, you can see a path down the road even where you can do that. All right, what is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? Is feeling like you against the world here with the Seven of Wands. So I just imagine that this guy comes out of the debate and is like, no, I know that I'm right. I know that, like I said about, but I know Bitcoin is the way to go. Well, you might read a book and find that, oh, here's the instability of Bitcoin, or how this might work, and you might change your mind. So, anytime that you've got all of these swords pointed at you and you're feeling like you're just trying to hold your ground, maybe you are right. And maybe you just need to find proof, or maybe it doesn't matter. You just decide, well, I am right. But ask yourself, is it your secret desire to feel like it's you against the world, or are you kind of trying to avoid that? Are you trying to kind of keep in calmer waters? So there's no right or wrong answer to that. It just kind of depends on your personality. I mean, Taurus, you guys tend to be a little stubborn. When you know a thing, and it's very hard to change your mind. So think about that when it comes to making decisions like that or having debates. It's like, yeah, you are very stubborn, but make sure you're being at least open to listening to what other people are saying, because if not, you might miss some good solid information, right? In your outcome position here is you're feeling a little victorious here with the Six of Wands. So, maybe in the end you're like, I kind of told you so. Maybe, maybe not. This is about getting recognition. Um, what is the one saying? Would you rather be right or happy? So I think you can choose either of those. But pay attention to, again, these words that are exchanged. These are good debates. It seems like they're good, healthy debates to be having. If they are about long term wealth and security, that sort of thing. And it could be that just this is something just within your own mind. About maybe you're making decisions about where you should invest. Where all the different investments with your own 401k. That might be a thing. But what is the best for you long term? Where do you put your money so that you can build something longer term? Let's see, what is hidden from you this week is a broken heart here with the Three of Swords. So that's good. Let's keep that one out of the picture. There's certain cards that I love to see at the bottom of the deck, and that's one of them. Also, I'm just going to go back to this Devil card, which is really at the root of this entire situation. Make sure that the situation coming up is a real and true situation. Make sure it's not just the devil kind of coming in to just wreak a little havoc on your world for a little bit, which can be that's kind of what the devil does. Sometimes it's for a learning experience as well. um anyway, all right, let's get you a final wrap-up card from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message here for Taurus. Also, it says nothing will come of this situation, so you may have this debate and then just go a whole different direction. And that's also why I wanted to bring up this Devil card. It could be that these are some sort of false insecurities or things that aren't really real that you're bringing up or thinking about, and you decide next week, why was I so worried about? It wasn't like a big deal. Because that's the devil messing with you. All right, final message here for Taurus this week. Rejuvenate. Okay, rejuvenate yourself. And maybe this just is spend some time, again, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? When you're having these good kind of healthy debates, again, make sure that you are listening to others. Um, none of us know everything, and sometimes people do know things. So if you're pushing back or pushing up against it, sometimes you just need to ask yourself, why? Why is it so important that I do that? Maybe I could learn a thing. All right, let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care. Self-care for Taurus this week. Oh, look, it's the card called Listen, what I was just talking about. People start to heal the moment they feel heard. People start to heal the moment they feel heard. So, do you also need to listen as well as speak up and debate? Probably. We all need to do that. It's just a good exercise for all of us. So make sure you do take the time, Taurus, to listen to people that are around you that maybe know a little bit more about a topic than you do. Pay attention to them. You can learn so much from them. So, Taurus, thank you so much for being here. I hope there's something in this reading that you can take away and use in a positive way in your life this week. If you're comfortable sharing about what you've been going through, or if anything here resonated, drop me a comment down below. Or if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer those for you as well. And if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe, it really helps my channel. And I thank you so much for doing that. But also, more importantly, it brings you back to me next week where you can see where this energy goes. So thanks so much for being here, Taurus. Good luck with this, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.